on DC News Now, we are tracking the building heat across 2/3 of the nation as we sit under an extreme heat warning. Daytime highs tomorrow back near 100 degrees. How long does it last? I have your full forecast coming up.
Plus, the sizzling temps forcing some organizations to cancel events as families everywhere find ways to stay cool. A desperate need for help, a Maryland animal shelter without working air conditioning, begging people to foster a dog. The high heat is extreme, but your electric bill does not have to be. We're stretching your dollar with 3 simple ways to save. The president says there is a tentative peace plan between Israel and Iran, but the DMV remains on high alert.
Practice what you know already. Remain vigilant. Just be aware.
Why you may see more law enforcement on the streets.
You're watching the station covering all of the DMV. This is DC News Now.
Hi, everyone. Thank you so much for joining us for DC News Now at 10. I'm Susan Tran. Chris Flanagan has a night off. We are in a DMV first warn day. The heat is on, add the humidity, and everyone is just looking for ways to stay cool. Families heading out to spray parks, others going over to local rivers, or maybe just looking for some shade. Chief Meteorologist Janessa Webb joining us for a first check at our forecast. And Janessa, these are dangerous conditions we're looking at.
Yeah, absolutely. It continues to build. Today, really our second day of this heat wave that will continue into tomorrow. So no reprieve. Actually, tomorrow is the hottest of all of this week. Really, you can see all these advisories and warnings that are currently taking over from North Carolina, stretching up all the way to Maine. And so those are warnings. And so it has to meet a criteria of 105 to 110. And that's exactly what we saw this afternoon. And it stays that way into tomorrow. So kind of taking this closer look, you can see most of our region dealing with really all this kind of pink. We do not have any storms on the current radar. And so this is just ground clutter that you're dealing with. But this warning will stay in place for the rest of tonight and then re-amp going into tomorrow afternoon. Temperatures 86 for DC, 84 out towards Martinsburg. It's a toasty night the farther you get into southern Maryland as well. But dew points, they are in the 80s. You don't see that often here in the metro area. What that means, it's completely off my legend at this point, feeling above tropical. That's a whole different ballgame from Loudoun County all the way into Manassas. That continues to build for tomorrow. More of that forecast coming up.
Oh, off the charts humidity. All right, Janessa, thank you. Happening now, we are looking at the impacts of this brutal condition here, from animals to your commute, plus the joy of maybe just some ice cream. DC News Now's Max Marcilla joining us live from Northwest. And Max, everyone just trying to stay cool and, I don't know, feel the breeze, maybe enjoy that cone.
Gosh, a breeze would be nice, Susan. Ice cream was good too, but look, there's not much to make today feel better than what it was. A lot of water, cold washcloths, those little portable fans that you can put right up to your face. Those all helped, but gosh, it's just one of those days where there was a lot of suffering. It was very hot out here, Susan, and there were a lot of ways that our community and our community members were impacted today.
It's really good.
It's an end-of-the-day treat that anyone who spent any time outside on Monday certainly deserves.
It's hotter than the devil out, and I definitely needed something to cool off.
But with feels like temps above triple digits for the first time this year, there wasn't enough ice cream in the city to keep everyone this cool all day. And it could have made for a frustrating Monday. Above-ground metro trains were slowed down because of the heat of the tracks, not causing an awful commute, but it did add a few extra minutes in the heat.
Just trying to drink water, you know, making sure I keep water in my bag. And yeah, I do have like a portable fan too, so that's been helping.
These pups know what that feels like. This has been a rough day for them. Here at the Montgomery County Animal Services and Adoption Center, the AC broke, so no cool air is coming out, and the above 80-degree air inside this big facility is just circulating around.
No matter what we do to try to make it less stressful, it's still a stressful place.
And this doesn't help.
This is making it worse, right?
The county with an even more urgent than usual plea for fosters.
Whether it's for this or other reasons, fostering actually saves lives. It really does.
But with all the problems hot weather can bring, they can be solved just as easily With a bowl of water in a shady spot for our pets, or a cone as refreshing as this one for us.
Definitely a plus to my day, so it will improve my walk home.
And as you heard Janessa say, well, the best is yet to come. And by best, I mean absolute worst, because it is not fun out here. So this is going to be a tough week. So everyone just try and be nice to each other, because we're all struggling through this together here in the DMV. Reporting live in Northwest, Max Marcilla, DC News Now.
All right, Max, maybe you'll foster one of those pups. Thank you. The extreme conditions forcing Amtrak to delay and cancel some trains. There have been temperature-related speed restrictions, and the delays, they did end at 8 tonight. It impacted people traveling between D.C., Philadelphia, and New York. Amtrak also had to cancel 4 trains today from D.C. to New York. We often do warn older people about the dangers of extreme heat, but now researchers say a recent study of young people in Mexico that is, found that they had 9 times as many heat-related deaths as those who are 50 and older. And while American doctors say it is difficult to make that type of generalization, this is the time of year when they do see an increase of young people being rushed to the hospital.
Making sure that we've got opportunities to allow people to cool themselves, stay hydrated, and mitigate as much of that heat-related illness as possible is going to be really important.
Researchers say that athletes tend to continue to exercise in the heat, and the majority of people working outside in the summer temps, well, they are younger. So it is a good reminder for everyone just to stay safe. The DC News Now team of meteorologists, they are tracking the concerns of all of the heat, so you can stay on top of all of those details by scanning the QR code you see there on your screen. That'll take you to the DC News Now weather page for the very latest conditions. President Trump says Israel and Iran, they have agreed to a complete and total ceasefire that is set to be phased in over the next 24 hours. President Trump posting those details on social media that it will bring an official end to the war. This could be a major change in the hostilities that followed a U.S. attack on 3 Iranian nuclear sites this weekend, then Iran bombing an American military base there in Qatar. Israel and Iran, though, they have not immediately even acknowledged any ceasefire is in place as Israel continues to launch missiles into Iran. We'll have much more on this developing story coming up in our next half hour. Even with the tentative ceasefire, the fallout from the attacks, it has so many people in the district really concerned about more retaliation. DC News Now's Daniel Hamburg joining us live in Northwest. And Daniel, you spoke with an expert who says that these terror threats are all too real.
They are, Susan, and that's why we have seen an increased police presence throughout the district, including here at the Capitol Jewish Museum today. If you'll remember, just last month, right behind me, you can see the 2 Israeli embassy staffers who were killed in an anti-Semitic attack by a lone wolf. There's increased security across D.C. in the wake of the war between Israel and Iran, from the White House to the Capitol and Jewish institutions.
Innocent people in the United States are at risk.
Khosrow Isfahani lived in Iran until 2021. He's now a senior analyst with the National Union for Democracy in Iran.
The Islamic Republic, as far as we know, it has activated its sleeper cells, both on European soil and in the United States. We already have seen what this regime and its proxies are capable of pulling.
After bombing 3 of Iran's nuclear facilities, President Trump announced a ceasefire deal between Israel and Iran. But the U.S. involvement has many worried, especially in the Jewish community.
We are seeing a lashing out at American Jews for events that are happening thousands and thousands of miles away that we have no control over.
Gila Franklin Siegel is the chief operating officer of the Jewish Community Relations Council of Greater Washington.
Because we have had heightened anti-Semitism for years now, our community has very intensive security protocols and procedures.
She says especially after the anti-Semitic attacks at the Capitol Jewish Museum and in Boulder, Colorado, it's important to stay vigilant.
We will not cower. We will not stop living our lives as proud Jews.
Now, the Department of Homeland Security issued a national terrorism advisory on Sunday in the wake of all this conflict in Iran. Now, there are no credible threats here in D.C., but law enforcement, they are still on high alert. We're live in Northwest. Daniel Hamburg, D.C. News Now.
Daniel, thank you. Virginia lawmakers are reacting to the U.S. bombing Iran. Many Democrats argue that Congress should have had more of a say, while Republicans are defending the president. Republicans like Congresswoman Jen Keegan saying that this will ensure Iran cannot create a nuclear weapon, writing, "A nuclear-armed Iran is an unacceptable threat, not just to Israel, but to the safety of the American people." On the Democratic side, Congresswoman Jennifer McClellan saying that she agrees Iran should not have a nuclear weapon. She also believes President Trump's decision was a dangerous escalation that may not have been necessary.
Clear that there was an imminent threat here, and I would argue that based on what the Israelis have said about the success of their strikes, I don't know that Iran was capable of being an imminent threat when the president launched those attacks.
Senator Mark Warner, who serves as vice chair of the Senate Intelligence Committee, saying that President Trump's decision could drag the U.S. into another endless foreign war. Maryland lawmakers are also reacting to the U.S. bombings as well. Congresswoman April McClain Delaney praising U.S. forces to help keep Americans safe, but also she says that Capitol Hill should have been briefed in advance. Other political figures in Western Maryland saying the U.S. hit Iran appropriately.
President Trump really needs to sit down with Congress to let us know his plan in terms of both military and diplomatic initiatives, and to make sure that our Americans who are contractors and employees, our military is safe.
I think President Trump did what he had to do, and he used those bunker bombs to stop Iran.
Neil Parrott, who you see right there, he ran for Congress saying that the Obama and Biden administrations share a great deal of blame for allowing Iran to build its nuclear arsenal. Democrat Senator Chris Van Hollen saying in part, instead of living up to his claim that he'd bring all wars to an end, Trump is again betraying Americans by embroiling the United States directly in this conflict. Now to an update on a January 6th riot story that we first brought you last week. A federal jury has now decided a man who assaulted a D.C. officer who ended up dying by suicide will have to pay $500,000 to his widow. The jurors on Friday found David Walls Kaufman responsible for assaulting Officer Jeffrey Smith with his own police baton during the January 6th riots. Now, Smith's wife is saying that Walls Kaufman gave Smith a concussion, causing him to have psychological trauma, which led to him taking his own life 9 days later. The judge had previously dismissed the widow's wrongful death case against Walls Kaufman. We're going to stay in the district now. A new video showing the shocking moments when a car drove into oncoming traffic. Take a look. This is Suitland Parkway right near Stanton Road. You can see several cars there at a standstill or just trying to navigate out of the way of that car coming down the wrong way. Police not giving any details about why the driver was headed in the wrong direction. Now to a giant Lego model over at Reagan National. It is on display. It is all decked out with cars dropping off passengers. There's an airplane and even some people inside of the terminal. Lego enthusiast Richard Paulus says it took him 9 months to create this 150,000 piece model.
It's always been kind of a hobby of mine ever since I was a little kid. It makes me so happy when I see how many people stand around it. Little kids, just the way their faces light up when they see it and walk around it. It makes me very happy.
Very cool. Paulus has also made mini versions of Dulles Airport and the Kennedy Center.